Okay, so we are on the edge of a massive, massive shift in how we talk to AI. And it all boils down to one simple, but honestly game changing upgrade: giving it a memory. I mean, just think about it for a second. How many times have you started a chat with an AI and you have to explain everything from the very beginning? It feels like you're having the same first conversation over and over and over again. This has been one of the biggest frustrations with AI, right? They've had no history, no context, no memory of you. But that is all starting to change. We're finally moving away from that repetitive, totally impersonal hello and into a conversation that feels continuous, that feels personal. The whole promise here is that every single interaction builds on the last one. It makes the AI feel less like a dumb tool and a lot more like a partner that actually gets you. So, how in the world does this actually work? Let's pop the hood, take a look inside the engine room of this whole new kind of conversation. It's not magic, but it is a really clever, structured process.
It's really just a simple four-step loop. First, you just talk to the AI. And as you're doing that, it's actively grabbing all the key details, your preferences, things you've asked before, just the general vibe of the conversation. Then, it sorts all that information and stores it, kind of like our own brains do. And then, the next time you chat, boom, it pulls up the relevant memories to give you a smart, context-aware response.
What's so fascinating is how much the system mirrors our own human memory. The AI has this memory buffer for short-term stuff, remembering what you asked it 2 minutes ago. But it also has long-term storage for all the important things: your name, the projects you're working on, the fact that you absolutely hate cilantro. It's that combination that makes the whole conversation feel so much more real. And listen, this isn't just a cool theory. It actually works. The research shows that when you give chatbots a memory, their performance just skyrockets. One study found that a full 60% of responses from a memory-enabled chatbot were rated as highly relevant. That is a huge, huge leap in just how useful they can be. Okay, so now that we know how it works, let's zoom way out, because the implications here go so far beyond just better customer service chats. They actually start to challenge our entire idea of what memory even is. This quote from researcher Andrew Hoskins is a total mind-bender. He's arguing that AI doesn't just retrieve memories like a computer finding a file. No, it digs through these massive mountains of data, all of our digital footprints, and it generates a past from the patterns it sees. It's literally creating a memory of something that never actually happened. And this leads to something he calls an uncanny memory. Just imagine an AI creating a blurry, kind of glitchy photo from a childhood party, a party where no photos were ever taken. It might get the small details wrong, but the feeling, the emotional core of it, feels weirdly familiar. It's a memory that feels real, even though you know it's completely synthetic. And this leads to a really critical question. If AI is busy developing a perfect memory, what happens to ours? Are we just outsourcing one of the most fundamental parts of being human? Well, this phenomenon actually has a name: digital amnesia. Researcher Elsa LeBlou's work points this out. It's our growing tendency to forget things precisely because we trust a device to remember it for us. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you memorized a phone number? This is the exact same thing, just supercharged by AI. So why are we so willing to lean into this? Well, first, we kind of trust the AI to be more accurate than our own brains, which, let's be honest, can be pretty forgetful. Second, we can offload really complex info that we'd struggle to remember anyway. But the biggest reason? It's just so easy. The convenience of having perfect recall right at your fingertips is just too hard to resist. And this brings us to the most provocative, the most uncanny edge of AI memory. If it can perfectly remember and recreate a person from their data, what does that mean for how we deal with grief and loss? This has led to what some researchers are calling the deadbot memory boom. A deadbot is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's an interactive AI clone of a person who has passed away, built from their entire digital legacy: their emails, their text messages, their social media posts. It is, for all intents and purposes, an interactive digital ghost that you can talk to. The experience of actually interacting with these deadbots is profoundly complex. I mean, just listen to this testimony from a widow. She described it as simultaneously disorienting and blissful. It's not just comforting, and it's not just creepy. It's somehow both at the exact same time.
This technology is pushing us into a completely new emotional and ethical world. And a really crucial ethical line is starting to be drawn here. You have prospective dead bots, which are created with a person's consent before they die, but then you have retrospective dead bots, which are created after death without any consent, just by scraping up a person's public data. And that, as you can imagine, raises enormous questions about privacy and who gets to control our digital selves after we're gone. So we're left with this. The convenience is undeniable, the potential is absolutely vast, and the technology is already here. As we increasingly rely on AI to become our perfect external brain, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what becomes of the memories that we hold inside?